All right, I am Harley, your host once again. This is session 2 of the After Hours Diplomacy League. We have now entered the fall of 1902 and we have our orders in. Without further ado, let's start in the order that I had received them. First orders in are Russia. So, what we have here is the fleet in the Gulf of Bothnia. We'll be moving into Sweden, like so. The fleet in Romania will hold. The army in Galicia is going to Bohemia, and the army in Ukraine is going to Galicia. Next up is Austria. The fleet in Trieste will hold. The army in Serbia will be moving back to Budapest, which does mean that Serbia will not be occupied this turn. And the army in Budapest will go to Vienna. Next we have Italy. The army in Venice is again going to support the army in Rome. The army in Rome is again going to support the army in Venice. And the fleet in the Ionian Sea will go to Tunis. Next, we have England's orders. The fleet in the North Sea is going to Norway. The fleet in the English Channel is going to the North Sea. And the army in Wales is going to hold. Next up is France. The fleet in Brest is going to go to the English Channel. So it looks like they were maybe anticipating a possible convoy and were baiting to interrupt. The army in Picardy is going to Belgium, and the army in Spain will hold. Next we have Germany. Germany is going to move their fleet in Denmark. As you see, this space of water here includes Denmark. Moving that to Sweden. This is going to bounce both back. The fleet in Sweden will go to the Gulf of Bothnia, but we'll worry about resolving that here in a moment. The army in Tyrolia, which is this little area of Austria, is going into Vienna. Interesting little back battle. And the army in Kiel is going into Holland. Last but not least is Turkey. The army in Bulgaria will hold. The army in Constantinople will support the army in Bulgaria. And the fleet in Ankara will move to the Black Sea. So let's resolve everything. First, we have this engagement in Sweden. The fleet in Sweden for Germany will bounce back to Denmark, and the fleet for Russia in Sweden will bounce back to the Gulf of Bothnia. The next move to resolve will be these supports. They work out just fine. Here we have a one-on-one for the German move into Vienna of Austria. This is one-on-one that will cancel each other out and send the German army back to Tyrolia. So that was a really good shift on that for Austria. The next We have the support here. That is okay. Okay. Your builds going into the winter of 02 will be Russia gains 1 build. Austria does not gain any builds. Italy will gain 1 build. England will gain a build. France will gain 2 builds. Germany will gain 2 builds. And Turkey will gain 1 build. And the builds are going to be deadlined by Sunday of this week at 11:59 p.m. So just a reminder, of course, you can only deploy new units from home supply centers that are not occupied in this case. France, Russia, Germany, and England have all spaces open, so any port or area they like they can deploy from. However, Turkey and Italy will be limited on options as far as which ones they cannot use. Alright, once again, I will get the pictures sent out as well. And I will make sure that the markers are on. I did not have them prepped when I did this video. I do apologize for that, but they will be included. Thank you once again, and happy stabbing.